Welcome to Conquer the Concept. In this video, we'll be learning about a few organelles of the cell, the four things all cells have in common, and the difference between prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. So, let's start off with some basic organelles of the cell. There will be a future video on every organelle in the cell though, so don't use this video as a guide to learn all the organelles. Anyways, this chart shows a few of the main organelles. The first shown is the cell membrane. It can be found in any type of cell, plant or animal, and it controls how materials move in and out of the cell. The cell membrane is made up of a phospholipid bilayer. What this means is that the cell membrane is made out of two layers of proteins and lipids. The phospholipids themselves are made up of a hydrophobic side, which means that it doesn't like water, hence the suffix phobic. The other side is made up of a hydrophilic side, which means that it is attracted to water, hence the suffix philic. The cell membrane, being a very complex structure, will be discussed in a video of its own. The next organelle is the nucleus. You could consider it the brain of the cell because it contains a DNA, which holds a genetic blueprint for life. DNA will also be discussed in a future video. The nucleus also oversees all activities and functions inside the cell. Let's go to the next organelle, ribosomes. Ribosomes are the most abundant organelle in the cell. They're either located on the endoplasmic reticulum or just floating around on the cytoplasm. The job of a ribosome is to make protein for the cell. That's all the organelles of the cell we'll be discussing for this video, since you need to know what those organelles are to understand the difference between prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Alright, so there are four things all cells have in common. These are a cell membrane, genetic material such as DNA or RNA, ribosomes, and a cytoplasm. Now, let's dive into the concept of prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells are just bacteria. These are simple, small cells which lack a nucleus. Eukaryotic cells are large cells, speaking in microscopic terms, which are very complex. Now let's talk about the differences between these two types of cells. The first difference is that prokaryotic cells have no nucleus, while eukaryotic cells do have a nucleus. The second difference is that eukaryotic cells have membrane-covered organelles. This means that the organelles of eukaryotic cells have their own membrane apart from the cell. These membranes are not present on the organelles of prokaryotic cells. The next difference is that eukaryotic cells have linear DNA, while prokaryotic cells have simpler circular DNA. This is something which will be covered in a future video. Another difference is that prokaryotic cells are just bacteria, while eukaryotic cells are every cell, not including bacteria. Prokaryotic cells, being bacteria only, includes only unicellular organisms, while eukaryotic cells include both unicellular and multicellular organisms. Okay, this wraps up today's lesson. Hopefully you learned from this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to Conquer the Concept.